Hello, 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 and welcome to what would usually be Dolphin's Dive, but is actually Spirit Island Saturdays with LewdDolphin today. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch and Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at LewdDolphin21 on Twitter and LewdDolphin on Twitch and YouTube with no digits. Sinnoh's the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, and Aeon's End are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, and Spirit Island is currently in early access, and you can get more information on the games at handelabra.com. So, as I announced on Thursday, I will be doing this temporary Spirit Island Saturday stream through at least May. Aw, the game hates you. Nah. The game doesn't hate you. The game loves you. It just wants you to be better. Does that mean? That's probably mean. Yeah, we'll be doing Spirit Island Saturdays through May, at least, while the game is new and newly released. Hello, Brian the Wolf Hunt, and welcome. Last time, what did we do? We played River Surges and Sunlight with Shadows Flicker Like Flame. They're right next to each other like that. Or no, we didn't even do... No, sorry, we didn't do River Surges. We did Ocean's Hungry Grasp. Yeah, I actually played a game with River last night. That's why I'm getting myself confused. So who should we play with today? Let's get rid of this icon on this guy just so there's no more power progression symbols anywhere. Let's see. So we did River 2 weeks ago, or I guess last week. Wow, it feels like it was 2 weeks ago, but we did River a week ago. We did Ocean and Shadow on Thursday. So I guess the pattern then goes Lightning and Green. And I think we did A and C last time. How can these connect? Oh, the ocean will be on the same side that way. Oh boy, and there's a big grouping of wetlands over there. You could also rotate these. I'm just playing around with these. You'd love to see some randomization bits in the menu. I'm sure there will be a random button at some point as the game probably gets closer to release. It's probably not too big of a priority right now. But hello, peasant. Ooh, I kind of like this angle. I haven't seen a game like this yet. The two wetlands being close together is just part of B. And also, let's see. I guess that was order and green, or the order was Swift, Lightning, and green. So lightning setup is put 2 presents on your starting board in the highest numbered sands. So you get a sacred site in your sands. Rampant green, put 2 on your starting board, 1 in the highest numbered wetland and 1 in the jungle without any Dahan. If there is more than 1 such jungle, you may choose. So is there a reason that we will want... So this guy's sands, this guy's wetland and jungle. I don't know if there's any logic to do there. Yeah, funky island layout. I kind of like this shape here. It's totally weird. Let's see. So let's just take a look at these spirits. So lightning is a fast one. For every wind it has, for every wind it has, let's say it on the other side as well. It only concerns itself occasionally. Yeah, it's an it. For every wind it has, it may use 1 power as if it were 1 slow power as if it were fast, such as Thundering Destruction, which is innately a slow power but can be made a fast power. And well, a lot of these things require wind anyway, and all of these cards are wind cards. Now it's time to get funky. Yeah, so... And this one wants to be within range 2 of a holy site, or sacred site. But lots of damage that can happen here. Like, this is a destroy a town, this is damage to each invader, this can destroy towns and cities, Dahan pushing, target spirit may use slow powers as if they were fast powers. and we can target the spread of rampant green with this. So the rampant green special rules: whenever invaders would ravage or build in a land with your sacred site, you may prevent it by destroying one of your presence in that land. When adding presence to the land via growth, you may optionally use your destroyed presence. If the island is healthy, do so freely. If the island is blighted, doing so costs 1 energy per destroyed presence you add. So, this was actually the only game I lost was with the spread of rampant green. I was actually using a blight card, which, I think technically there's 2 blight cards, but you don't get to choose which one you get, which is annoying. But I didn't realize that I was playing with a blight card, and I blighted the island accidentally, and so I kept destroying his presences, which is actually okay-ish with the spread of rampant green, because he gets presence very quickly, because he always adds a presence every turn. But the problem is when the island is blighted, it costs energy, so it became rather difficult. So let's see. So innate powers: creepers tear into mortar is a slow that could turn into a fast with lightning swift strike. It's damage to a town or a city, and this is also kind of a difficult power I've found to use because it's only 1 damage to a town or a city. So the only way that it really counts is if you can repeat it at least once or combo it with something that deals damage. Stem the flow of flesh. Stem the flow of flesh. Stem the flow of fresh water also deals damage to a town or a city, but that's the only other damage that we have here. And then, yeah, the fast power here is a defend that can also remove blight, and innate blight removal, which can help. Gift of proliferation, like when you're playing solo green, this also makes him power up really quickly, but this can be useful for any spirit to get more presence. And then this one also adds a presence, by the way. He gets lots of presences very fast, so we can get to the plants somewhat quickly, which will help him get these abilities going. Especially the tier 3 all-enveloping green can't be reached normally because you only have 4 card plays. So you need that plant. Flesh waddle. Alright, and I think next week I'll start considering playing with scenarios and adversaries. So we'll just have a go at it. I'm once again playing with 2 spirits, which will make this fun. But, I kind of like being able to synergize with spirits more than just playing a solo spirit. But we'll see how this goes. I'll try to be a little faster than I was on Thursday, but we'll see. Because I understand after a while, when it's 15 minutes on the same turn, it gets rather boring. So the always here means you always add a presence to jungle or wetland. You can stop ravaging or building in lands with the sacred site, and they're building in wetlands. So like if we were able to stop the build in this wetlands over here, then the explorer would actually take itself out when it ravages the next turn. And really any wetland, or actually not this particular wetland, which already has a presence. We could stop the ravage there, which will also stop the blight from happening. I seem to remember your very first turn in this game took 2 hours. Yes, but to be fair, 1 hour and 45 minutes of that was reading. Alright, so reclaim power. Well, there's nothing to reclaim, so if we're going to gain a power, it would be through energy, or gaining energy. But if we wanted to prevent a build from happening, we would want to also add a presence so we can get 2 presences in a single spot. This also gets you an extra card play. You are starting with 0 energy though, which makes this very tricky. Like green has a very slow energy build. Starts at 0, goes to 1, needs 3 presences to get to 2. So it makes sense to me that the very first thing we would want to do is get this energy here. Whether we want this plant here as well, or, well, this card play won't actually do anything right away. But if we get an extra card play, what can we do with that? We can do a damage and with 2 card plays, all of your cards are plants. Some of them are moons. We don't need the defend just yet. So if you can do a moon, so playing one of these, which you can't actually do that if we go with the extra card play though. But we could do this and one of these. So this also gives a spirit an extra presence, which doesn't have to be green. So maybe it's add a presence and an extra card play to get to the plant symbol. Oh, I guess you're also getting an innate plant symbol if you do that. But that doesn't really do anything. You'd be able to defend 2, but that won't do anything. All right, and then lightning. This track here, you'll take 2 presences to get to an extra energy, which is kind of interesting considering that Raging Storm takes 3 energy. We could add a presence and gain 3 energy and be able to play Raging Storm this turn. Hello, Seamus. Welcome to the slow stream. You also innately start with 2 card plays, which is interesting. Actually, you get very fast card plays. So, good, probably different time to that to you. You can just destroy a town with this card very easily and plainly. So if they build in this wetlands, you could stop that. It's range 2 of a holy site, so you actually can't reach that wetlands. But you could reach these wetlands. So you would be able to take out a town there. But you would need a little more energy for that. I mean, well, not just a little more energy. You would like to have the ability to play this and maybe also this? Maybe not. You're not going to get to the tier 1 unless you get 3 card plays, and then you won't have enough energy. Or no, if we add a presence to get an extra card play, then you would, if you get, add a presence and gain 3 energy, you would have 4 energy. If the presence comes from the card play, 4 energy would allow you to play Lightning's Boon, Harbingers of the Lightning, and Raging Storm. You wouldn't be able to do this though. But you'd be able to destroy a town with your innate, which the problem with that plan is then your next turn you're forced to reclaim. But that's also your only means of gaining power cards. Plus, we could have the Gift of Proliferation help with giving presents to you, so you don't necessarily need to go with the add presents route. I don't know if it would make sense really to do that. I mean, I guess the extra card play is nice. You kind of need energy, though, more consistently than just gaining 3 off of this route. So I think that means we're gonna do add presence card play, add presence, not add presence, add presence, add presence, gain energy. And you're innately gonna get 1 damage to 1 town or city, so we could combo this up. This is range 0. Which means you would be doing that in, well, we could put you in any land you really want to, but you could do 1 damage in here. You could actually stop the build and also get rid of the town and city there. Gift of Proliferation makes Rampant Green and Lightning nice exactly because of that. All right, good. I found a strategy. Also, hello, Bertez. All right, so am I gonna go for this? So Raging Storm and Lightning's Boon, so that you could do fast powers. Do we need you to be fast? what we're going to do with you. We're going to put you in the energy. And I think we're going to put you in this wetland. Actually... Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I need to select this first because the presence needs to... Yeah. So we'll put you there since I can do that now. Then I can do that one and that one. And if I give you the plant symbol, it's not really going to be necessary, but that extra card play, you're not even getting an extra card play. So let's just give you the plant symbol so that you have it. And this doesn't have to go in a wetland or jungle. So where would this be better put? Bearing in mind that the range 0 is your innate, which is a damage to a town or a city. Well, we're gonna try to use that over here. So maybe. I think we were going to have you stop building that wetland. That's what we were going to do. So we're just going to put the sacred site there, and we're going to destroy that presence. And then lightning gets a presence. Let's try to get you some energy eventually. This is range 1, which means it's any one of these. Let's try to help you spread into this part of the jungle. Not jungle, but yeah. We now also have both spirits in both islands, or whatever. Have you ever tried a 4-spirit game? I have not tried a 4-spirit. The most I've done is 2. Yeah, so it's good to remember what requires sacred sites. This one is a sacred site. And if you're relying on that damage, then it's good to know that I can't actually use that damage in this wetland. Was I relying on that damage? I think I was using my innate power for the damage. But if I do Lightning's Boon, I can do the damage to the city fast. And if I do Raging Storm, then lightning can use Raging Storm fast because lightning has a wind, right? Is it wind or leaf? It's not leaf, right? It's literally wind. That's not what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to use the right words. Air. It's not even wind, it's air. Because all of his cards have air, all of its cards have air. I'm trying to use all the right words, I'm using all the wrong words. Because all of the cards are air, he could almost certainly use as many powers as fast, except if he has only, yeah, well, you know what I mean. So what does green play? Green can't afford Overgrow in a night. Gift of Proliferation would help lightning. And fields choked with growth would push a city. That's range 1. So maybe we push the city in the wetland here so that the Ravage doesn't add the blight. We stop the build in the northeast. We've used the fast powers to take out the city, the town, the settler, explorer. In this wetlands in the northwest, we'll still have to work out something we're gonna do then. Shonen is raiding with a party of 8. Oh, hey Shonen. Welcome to a game you've never seen before. Alright, so we're going to target that spirit with that. So you can use 2 powers as if they were fast. And you conveniently have 2 powers that could be fast. And Gift of Proliferation could help with lightning. I mean, Forest innately is going to develop very quickly because you will always do the thing. So let's go ahead and spread this around. You can add a presence. Let's think about what the next turn is going to be. For once, I'm actually thinking about the next turn. You can use Shatter Homesteads to destroy a town. Range 2 of a sacred site. Okay. So, and how far can we put this thing? What was the thing? It was this one. Up to 1 from their presence. Okay. I mean, if you if you avoid you reclaiming, we can get you a presence. Yeah, so we could get a sacred site in either the jungle or the mountain, and we would be able to target this wetland the next turn. So let's go the energy route. Let's put you in that jungle, or sorry, in the mountain, because you'll be able to target slightly more lands than you would with just that jungle, I think. And now what? So 1 damage to each invader, do that there. 1 damage to a town, do that there. And a defend, which doesn't matter. And then fields choked with growth to push a town or 3 Dahan. We're gonna wait on that. That is a slow power. We can wait until the slow phase. We don't have to make it fast. And we'll prevent that one. Exploring in the sands. And then we can push this. Let's push you into this mountain. I feel like it's better to have cities and towns near the coast rather than in the inland, because it makes them less likely to explore, because they're gonna explore in the coast anyway. And it's a long one. All right, turn 2. 7:23, it's already turn 2. Wow, so fast. All right, we can add a presence to jungle or wetland. What we're gonna try to do here, this is a slow power. You would not be able to affect this town fast enough. Your defend power is in range 1 of a sacred site. You would be able to get to that defend 2. So you would be able to avoid this ravage from happening. The other wetlands are taken care of with the Dahan. Your things, though, like if you can get that, and you will have the energy and card play for that, then you would be able to destroy that town. They're building in the sands. Is there things we can do to deal with that situation per se? You're doing 1 damage to a town. You could do a 1 damage to a town, but that's slow. We'll be able to do that this range 1 of sacred sites, so we could do that. We have no sacred sites right now, so you need to get a sacred site. Okay. The lands with Dahan, I'm tempted to just kind of let them deal with the explorers on their own. So like, I don't need to deal damage to the explorers in that sand. I'll just need to be able to defend them. But what about the explorers we have in the other sands? I don't really think we have the tools to really effectively deal with all of these. Protecting the one with the sacred site is certainly the most important. So let's see. You can destroy a town. You can do 1 damage to 1 town or 1 city, or 1 town to each town or city. You could do 1 damage to 1 town or city, and you will not have enough moons to repeat this power. But hey. Do we want you to gain a power card? You probably want that presence in order to get a sacred site for the defend action. Maybe. I don't know. I had a really good turn 1. Now I'm back at what am I gonna do in turn 2 situation. I'm definitely going to hold off on Lightning's Reclaim so that we can develop Lightning a little more. I'm just trying to think if we want to gain the energy. Not that we need it this turn, but we will need it in the future. Considering that we have a card that requires 3 energy. And the 1 damage to each invader would take out that explorer. So if we can, okay, if we can take out this city, this town, even after they build a city, that would be fine. So I'll probably accept the Blight in the Sands on the southwest. We'll lose a Dahan, unfortunately. I don't know about the other 2 sands. But as long as we can have a sacred site in range 1 of that sands, we can defend 2. So let's add a presence here, give you an extra energy, so now you can afford Overgrow in a night. And do we need that presence, or do we want to gain a power card? Well, if you gain a power card, you wouldn't be able to necessarily play it, though. So let's just keep building. I just kind of want to keep going on the energy, even though we're not focusing on the card plays, because, well, I just want you to have energy, okay? Also, an extra plant symbol. Although, I guess extra card plays are what allow you to power up these a little more strongly, but I don't know. I just think energy is very valuable. So this is range 1. So range 1, we could put you in range 1 of anything. And your base power is range 0. So if I wanted to damage something, I have to be there. So I have to get into the sand. All right, and then lightning, I think I just want to, as I said, energy is very important. I'm going to gain 3 energy and keep pushing lightning in this route. Although you're not going to get that extra card play in the next round. So actually, let me take that back. I don't need energy. Let's preemptively assume I'm going to have 3 card plays in the next turn. So we can set this up. And your things is range 1 of a sacred site, so we want you to have more sacred sites. And the ravaging is happening in the sands next turn. So let's put you in this wetlands so that you can see this sands if we need it. And then you're both gonna play all of your cards. Migrant P may make it look like a 5-year-old could beat this game easily, but you are in front of it. How the horror. It's definitely less straightforward than Sentinels. Like, you can damage things. You could prevent blight. But it's definitely a lot more, like, less clear how to win the game. You're on a time limit, so you're, you know, time limit in terms of explore cards. You have a limited number of blight, and yeah, you can't just like kind of play the obvious card. It's all about 20 levels of thinking beyond like Sentinels, where it's like, oh, there's a bad guy I have to take out. Let me do 2 damage to it. So all right, so you can also add a presence innately. You could also target a land with your presence and invaders for 3 fear. What do we want to do? I mean, fear is valuable, but it's not going to get me to that fear card just yet. Defend 2, we were going to do, I think, maybe not. We're going to target this. Oh, we were going to target that land, weren't we? Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. See, this is what happens, is I forget my plans. I also love every time you rewind, everything rearranges on the board. Yeah, so I need to put this presence here. I did the thing again where I forgot about a plan I decided. Data overload, yes, that's basically what this game is. Can I still not? Oh, it's this one. There we go. Also gets us a fear. So do we need to defend? Not really. But we could just defend to save damage. So that leaves the question of, let's see, this is push Dahan, 1 fear if you push Dahan into land with towns or cities. Kind of want that fear. Even though I just said I'm not sure if I want this fear. I want fear in general. This is a slow power though, so I don't have to do it. There's no strategic benefit to doing it now. You add a presence, or if target land has your presence and invaders. 3 fear. So is the presence more valuable? If I do the presence now, I will be able to get to 2 card plays after I reclaim. Yeah, and I won't have the +1 card play. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a presence in range 1 of a land. And the next round is Ravaging in the Sands, so we want to be in range 1 of a sacred site if possible. I'll put it here. And it's card play. Alright. I'll finish. Now they're exploring in the jungles. You're still a little unclear on what the Dahan do. The Dahan intrinsically don't do anything except retaliate on invaders if they rampage. So the Dahan in this land, like, the only thing they directly do is when they rampage in this land, or ravage in the land the next turn, the Dahan will deal damage. First, the invaders deal damage. Currently, they're doing 6 damage, so that's enough to take out the Dahan. But if, like, they killed one of the Dahan but left the other one alive, then that surviving Dahan will do damage back to the invaders. So it's a bit of a defense element to the game where the Dahan can defend against the land. But that's their only intrinsic thing they do. Now, different cards can do different things with the Dahan, like the Harbingers of the Lightning, that can allow you to get fear off of this card if you push Dahan into a land with invaders. So certain, and then there's a spirit, I don't remember which one, that says whenever you move a Dahan, or whenever Dahan move generally, you can also move your presence with the Dahan. So it's, there are things that are introduced through the text that can make for extra decisions. Let's see, so I think we were going to do the damage to this town there, and then we're going to do damage to that town there. So then if we do a defend off of this, if we can push this explorer and also do the defend, then we would be able to, yeah, and Raging Storm would do that. So that would keep the Dahan alive, and the Dahan would punish the remaining guys there. That doesn't it doesn't help with the other sands though, so we're probably gonna have a big blight turn coming up. Do I want to push Dahan? Well, I can't reach that Dahan. I want to push into a land with invaders. Oh yeah, I forgot that the extra rule for green is that you can put sacred sites in places where invaders would build a rampage, and you would, or I keep saying rampage because I keep thinking Haka. No, you can put sacred sites in lands to prevent ravaging and building. I haven't really exploited that outside of turn 1. But we could stop this blight from happening on this jungle, which is fine. And preferred. And if we can do the defend trick on the jungle on the east on the next turn, that would be ideal. And then I like focusing on the lands with Dahan for defense because after that turn, after they ravage, then the Dahan can take out the survivors or the invaders. Whereas in the other lands, I could defend to avoid the blight, but then the invaders will just stay there. I don't really predict being able to do much about this jungle here, which means that Dahan is in peril. Can I reach that Dahan? I can. Let's push you over to the wetlands. Hold on. Oh, I have to push you into a place with... Okay. Well, they're gonna ravage in that jungle, or in that sand, so that's not really good. I guess, well, it's not really ideal, then. I can't put you in a safe place. Am I going to be able to deal with the sand on the west? Hey, European, get in the sea! Let's see. You're gonna reclaim. You're gonna have 2 card plays. You're gonna reclaim. You're gonna have 3 card plays. If you do Lightning's Boon, you can make green act faster. You could push a town out. Range 1. That's not range 1. I am not sure. Well, we can put your presence in this jungle. And then later we could use that presence, or the sacred site we put in the turn after that to avoid that build. Okay. Or that, not build, but okay. So it's actually better to put Dahan over here then. Although if you're not going to ravage, then there won't actually be a defense. So I'm just going to take a Dahan here and I'm going to push it there. Just to get the fear. So both of these people are going to reclaim. And I've seen people on Discord complaining about, like, when they choose a power card, they can't rewind, which means that if they made a mistake with placing presence, it's bad. So I want to, since we're gonna do reclaims on both because they both have empty hands, I'm gonna hit reclaim and reclaim. And both of these guys are choosing between minor powers. And currently it's green here. You can see on the left what it says you currently have to do, and it's currently saying it's green's turn to choose a minor power or major power, and it's probably going to be minor for both because there's not enough energy for both to get a major power. So it doesn't really, I don't think the order of this particularly matters because we don't know what's coming up. But I'll just click minor power. This is green. Now, if you click minor power here, then this isn't going to take you back to that window. The only way to get back to that window is by hitting that card symbol in the upper left. This is now Lightning's click a power deck to gain cards from it. So the symbol on here tells you what spirit this is referring to. And so if I click minor here, this now is for, oh, I never saw this card before. That's really, really cool art. That's fun. Now you can actually switch between who you're looking at by looking at the text here. Green gain a minor power, lightning gain a minor power. So I don't think the UI is really the issue here per se, because the game is making it clear what's going on. Maybe if they put a symbol down here saying this is green's decision, although it does say it over here, but I mean, I guess the instinct is that when you minimize out of this window that you want to click here to reopen that window. Maybe that's part of the problem. But it does at least make an attempt to clarify what's going on. Okay, so this is going to influence our decisions that we make. You're also going to be adding a presence to a jungle or wetland. Current plan is to... Oh, we're going to put a presence here on this turn and then put a presence on the next turn. I just realized this is not Handelabra Dev and is in fact Dolphin. Hey, Thurindos. This is me playing the game for the 9th time since I first learned it. So what decisions are going to change? You're going to have 2 card plays off of your play. You're going to not gain a presence, so you're only going to have 3 plays. And you can't do both Raging Storm and Shatter Homesteads. But we're going to use Raging Storm to take out the Explorer in this sand, and you want to use your All-Enveloping Green to do a Defend 2 in this land, so that there's only 3 damage from the invaders, 2 of them are defended, the Dahan will take out the city. So that's the current plan. What better plans can we get off of these? And then there's also an extra tier of strategy, like you have to look at the symbols. So moon and plant, and water and plant, and primarily plant, even though every single thing requires plant. Or if you ever want to remove blight, you need to play 4 plant cards. I guess if you have a +1 card play, you could also do that. Maybe not if you have 2 plant. I don't know, maybe not the plant so much. Moon and water are the important ones. So your cards, Entrancing Apparitions gives you a moon and a water. Call of the Dahan Ways gives you a moon and a water. Shadows of the Burning Forest gives you a moon and a plant. And Savage Maw Beasts gives you no symbols that help. So maybe not Savage Maw Beasts, unless it was particularly great. If target land is jungle or wetland, 1 fear and 1 damage. If you have 3 animal, 1 damage. You have no animal symbols, so it's... I don't think Savage Maw Beasts is the answer. Shadows of the Burning Forest, 2 fear, and in a mountain or jungle, push an explorer and a town. Entrancing Apparitions, defend 2. If there are no invaders, gather up to 2. Which the moon and the water helps power up both sides of green's innate powers, so that's really nice. Not just a defend 2, but also perhaps an additional defend off of All-Enveloping Green and extra damage to cities and towns. And it can also gather explorers, which means we could stop builds with this. Savage Maw Beasts is never the answer. Poor Savage Maw Beasts. Call of the Dahan Ways is fun. Replace an explorer with a Dahan, or with 2 moon, you may instead replace a town with a Dahan. This only targets lands with Dahan in it, though. But, I mean, it's probable that green will have moons. And replacing towns with Dahan not just gets rid of towns, but also gives you extra defense. Not defense, but offensive defensive. So, like when they build in the jungle over here, then Call of the Dahan Ways would replace the town with a Dahan. So it's also a little offensive. Shadows of the Burning Forest can push explorers and towns, but it's range 0. I'm not really particularly excited by that. So for me, it would be between Entrancing Apparitions and Call of the Dahan Ways. Let's take a look at Lightning. Lightning wants to have fire and air and some amount of water. So which gives air? Only Lure of the Unknown. Which gives fire? Lure of the Unknown. Ruse the Trees and Stones, Visions of Fiery Doom. And the only one that gives water is Sap the Strength of Multitude. So all 4 of these contribute in some capacity. But the one that is the most useful for building up the levels here, because you're ultimately going to need 5 fire and 5 air, well, that's going to be Lure of the Unknown. Targeting a land without invaders, gathering an invader or a town. Rouse or ruse? Ruse. Rouse the trees and stones. A land without blight, 2 damage, and push an explorer. But no wind. Or air. No air. Air, that word. Visions of Fiery Doom, which has amazing art. 1 fear, push explorer or town. If you have 2 fire, an additional fear, but range 0. Or defend 5. And with 1 air, you can also increase the range of this power by 1. So, what are we gonna do? If lightning takes Sap the Strength of Multitudes, we would actually be able to prevent a blight. Yeah, increase the range by 1. Yeah, so we would be able to defend either one of these 2 lands. So that's something to think about. If you push a town, however, you can also do that, but that's range 0, so you actually wouldn't be able to target the sands. You could gather an explorer or a town, which would also stop that blight. You could do 2 damage and push an explorer, which will take out the town and move the explorer within range 1 of a holy site, which would be this sands over here. So all 4 of these could do things, but bearing in mind that I only can do 1 slow power as fast for every air that I have, Lure of the Unknown not only gives me an air, but is fast, but Rouse the Trees and Stones is slow and doesn't give air. So Lure of the Unknown would be a little better for that. So what do we want? Kind of inclined for Lure of the Unknown to build up the base power here more. Being able to destroy cities with that would be really good, although you're not going to get that off of 3 card plays. But since every one of your cards is currently fire or air, the more card plays you get, the more easily you would be able to just instead destroy a city, so... And this is range 2, which is nice because you'll be able to gather explorers or towns almost anywhere on the board as long as you have presence. So I'm going to go with Lure of the Unknown for lightning, and then for green, what are we going to do here? I just like calling the Dahan so much that I think I just want to call the Dahan. That's the most fun to me. All right, so now we can add a presence to jungle. We want you to have 2 card plays, I think. All right, so now what are we going to do here? We needed that damage over in this sands. I think that hasn't changed. I guess we could gather with that and do the damage elsewhere, but I don't foresee a reason why we wouldn't do it over here. So we're going to Raging Storm. You have 2 more card plays. Do we need you to do slow powers fast? If you did stem the flow of flesh water, then you'd be able to do more damage there. And if you play 2 more cards, you'd be able to destroy a town, so, well, that wouldn't help with the city, so never mind. We could do a lot of damage over here, but we don't need to do a lot of damage over here because the Dahan are going to do plenty. So let's take that back for a second. We were going to do a defend off of all-enveloping green. We also wanted to push this explorer. Oh no, we were going to do damage to the explorer. Although actually, Let's think. So I was thinking of using Call of the Dahan Ways on the jungle in the north to turn that town into a Dahan, but you have to play an extra moon card for that, and it can't be Overgrow in the nights, so it'd have to be Gift of Proliferation. This also does not give you a defend, so that doesn't allow you to defend there. So that's a little tragic. If you do that, is there another way that we can avoid this damage to the Dahan? And really that's what we need, is we need to avoid that blight. So I guess I'm not going to be able to replace a town with a Dahan. I could still replace an explorer with a Dahan though, even if I don't do Gift of Proliferation. Push a town or push 3 Dahan, 1 damage to 1 town or city. If it is mountains or sands, instead 1 damage to each town and city. It also does not give you a defend. Because what we're missing here is a water? Oh, and this also doesn't give a plant. The Call of the Dahan Ways is actually the culprit here. So you have to do one of the water cards and then another plant card. That's the problem. Push a town. Call is too good. Let's just set that for the moment. That gives us the defend 2. If you played 2 moons, you'd be able to do 1 damage to a town or city twice. So currently Raging Storm takes out the Explorer over here. The defend off of this would allow the Dahan to take out the city. Lure of the Unknown would allow us to gather an explorer or town, so we'd be able to gather that into... We'd be able to gather this town into a different place. And then you're out of card place. Is that an issue? I think that's okay. You can't afford that anyway. Or can you? No, you can. And you would be able to do this fast. Range 2 of a sacred site. You'd be able to take out this town. You'd be able to push this explorer. Wait, no, we're not. We're not doing that because I can't do both of the things I want. Let's do that because why? I can't have 3 fire anyway. I gotta get card plays. Why have I not been doing card plays? Oh no, I can't have card plays. I have 1 more card play. Never mind. I'm looking at the wrong symbol. I'm looking at the discard pile and thinking I have 0 card plays, but that means I have 0 discards. I could also play that, and that gives me that. I can destroy a town. I can destroy a town. I can gather an explorer. I can damage each invader. Okay. It's a little tragic. I can't really do anything about the sands down there, though. Not unless I played Lightning's Boon. If I did that, I would be able to push this explorer fast. Or push this town fast. Keep those Dahan alive, and that explorer would die to the Dahan. Could destroy that town or that town. Still do the damage there. All right, let's go that. I'm way too tired to read the board. Well, I feel like I have a much better grasp of this game than I did the last game, because I'm at least making decisions faster than I did last time. That's for sure. I'm not feeling as confused. Let's do that. 1 damage to each invader. So that land is now defended. Lightning's boon on green. Push this town. They're gonna build in the jungle. So let's not put you in the jungle. Let's put you in that dangerous mountain there. No pressure to maintain my 100% victory rate. No, it's fine. We got this. This is difficulty 0. All right, so we could still destroy a town and get a fear. We can give a presence to a spirit. We can do damage to a city or a town. Well, this damage isn't really going to do anything for us because we're only doing 1 damage. I seem somehow more confident, more assured, and more powerful. Oh man, it's the alcohol. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I just have a better grasp. Maybe because I've played both of these spirits before. If I give that presence to Lightning, she could get... It could get... a peasant. Do they make canned dolphin? Awkward. I could give you more energy so you could support more card plays. Next turn, I can give you a plant symbol. That wouldn't do anything. Or card plays, which also won't really do much. So I guess the gift of proliferation is to Lightning. To push towards this. We could also get a second sacred site. I don't think that's going to really make a difference here. Let's put you here, and then this sand is in range 2 of a sacred site eventually. Not immediately, but eventually. Or do I just want that sacred site? Let's just get the sacred site. That's a little more valuable for Lightning. Okay. Destroy a town. What else? Destroy a town. I could do both of these things. And we have stopped all the blight from happening. And we got a fear card. Perfect. And I will wait to see what happens. The fear card might do a damage to a town, maybe. Defend 3 in all coastal lands. Well, if I knew that was happening, I wouldn't have had to worry about the sands. And then the jungle builds. I think it will be a good idea to stop at least one of these. So let's sacrifice that sacred site. And that's all we can really do. They're exploring in the sands. The world is safer with me addicted to games than to drink. Yeah, there's no partially damaged towns now. So I'll just look at this town badly. And then they'll rebuild. But hey, at least they know that we're alive. Okay, so what now? Do you want that card play? You could afford it. You get 2 moons, 2 waters, 3 leaves, so you'd be able to defend 4 and repeat this power. for damage to a city or a town. A Ravage is in the jungle. Defend 4 wouldn't innately stop that. And these are slows. If you have the Sacred Site, you could prevent the Ravage, though. So maybe that's fine if we do the presence there like we said we were going to do. The other 2 jungles, we have one with Dahan, one without Dahan. If we do Defend 4, and that's range 1 of a Sacred Site, so you'd be able to reach that. Sacred 4 in the east jungle would allow the Dahan to wipe the invaders. Then we have the jungle in the west. You have a Gatherer, an Explorer, or a Town. And you have Push Dahan. And you're not gaining a power card. So yeah, so if you gather that Explorer into a land without Explorers, it would have to be either a wetland or the mountain. That if you move the town, then that would stop that blight. Okay. So what do we want to do with lightning then? 2 presences or gain extra energy for maybe the next turn again. Because you do have expensive cards, that's the problem. If you gain 2 presences, you could get 2 extra energy this turn, which will equate to 2 extra energy the next turn as well. Although if you do energy and presence, then you'll get 1 energy. Yeah, so it's not really as much as I thought it would be. Do we need these to be in certain places? Range 2, no defenders. Range 1, any. You would like a little more spread, but you don't need that spread for what we want out of you now. More sacred sites would be nice. You'd be able to put a sacred site anywhere, or not really anywhere, but almost anywhere with this. Let's get you more sacred sites, because I think this is going to give you only 1 less energy the next turn than the other route would. And let's set it in this jungle so that I can see the board a lot more easily. I guess the question is, are we going to have you do extra card play or gain power card? Because if I'm going to do that, then I should undo this decision. Let's undo this decision for the second. Just so that I can change my mind based on what card we draw if I gain a power card. This would also let me gain 3 energy. But I would still only have 2 card plays. And we absolutely need to get the Defend 4, right? To target this land there. So I need to be able to play 2 waters. Which would be Stem the Flow of Fresh Water and Call of the Dahan Ways. I don't know, maybe the +1 card play is better, because then I'd be able to do all 3 of these things. Do you really need the energy? Not really. I mean, you're only getting 2 energy per turn. You also gain a power card when you reclaim. If you gain a power card and gain energy, you could gain a major power, which I've been neglecting because they're expensive and you have to forget a card. I feel like I want more options. So let's just have you gain a power card, just so I have more options. So Voracious Growth, 2 damage or remove a blight. Call to Migrate, gather up to 3, push up to 3, Gift of Living Energy. Target spirit gains 1 energy, +1 energy if target spirit is not yourself. If you have at least 2 sacred sites, target spirit gains another energy. Well, that's nice for light. Or really anyone. Delusions of Danger, push 1 explorer or 2 fear. Alright, so if my goal is to play a card that replaces a card I have in hand, so I could get the 2 water still, then I have to get a water card, which would be Voracious Growth, targets a jungle or a wetland for 2 damage, or removes a blight. Is that better or worse than these options? Does it give me a moon? It does not give me a moon. I guess if I had the moon, I could have had the moon from the +1 card play. I guess that was something I forgot about. So I can't do 1 damage to a city or town twice. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But still, my options are a bit limited then. If I go for the moon card, but I save it for the next turn, I would have not enough plants to support the innate unless I gain this plant here, which I could still do because I haven't added a presence to jungle or wetland yet. So I would be able to have that next turn then. To push an explorer or 2 fear, plus add a presence or 3 fear to a target land with presence and fear. So, there's things. So, yeah, you're gonna get the defend this turn. You're not gonna get the damage because we don't have enough plants. Yeah. If I go for Voracious Growth, then you'd be able to play it to build up the all-enveloping green, but you wouldn't be able to play it to build the Creeper's Tear into Mortar. Oh boy. See, every decision in this game has 20 layers of repercussions to think about. It's not as simple as what card is best. It's what card is good enough with the elements that it gives you. Because we need that defend 4. We need the, well, actually we only need defend 2 on the east. So I don't actually need that then. I just need defend 2 to save that east tile. We're gonna prevent the ravage in the north with the sacred site, and we're gonna gather a town to avoid that. So we're fine with the ravaging currently. So the next thing to think about is the building in the sands, which we won't be able to prevent, but is there something we can do here in some capacity? We could push an explorer, and then we would stop one of the builds from happening. Call of the Dahan Ways also would replace a town that builds in this jungle if we use that. But we have to make sure that we get that defend 2, which we should. They'll get me a water, and all my other cards will be plants unless I choose to play one of these cards, which is also a possibility. I keep going in circles here. Okay, so let's stop doing that then. So defend 2, I need to get a leaf, or I need to get a plant and a water. Call of Dahan Ways gives me a water. Also gives me a moon. If I can get a second moon, I'd be able to replace a town with an explorer, and that is something I have to worry about. Delusions of Danger was a means of stopping a build, but I can't do both Delusions of Grandeur and Call of the Dahan Ways and also defend the place in the east, because I won't have enough plants. Yeah, gathering this presence, or using that presence, is not going to worry about that. So Voracious Growth would synergize with Call of the Dahan Ways. It will do 2 damage in the next turn, which will also do enough damage to prevent blight in a place. However, it's not happening. I can only target jungle or wetlands with that, so it's not going to target a sands, is the problem. So I guess Delusions of Danger is a little more useful immediately. Voracious Growth is more useful in the long term. And I like to think more about the long term than the short term. So let's go with long term. Let's go ahead and add this presence up here. So Call of the Dahan Ways, and then a plant. Now it also gives you this. That does 1 damage. This does 1 damage. So that will get rid of a town that builds somewhere. Okay. That's good. Oh, there's a problem. I can't defend. Or no, I can. This is the defend. Okay. This is a damage in a land that I belong in. And the only land that I belong in that is a Sands is this land. Which was also a land where the Dahan could take care of the things, and also a land we were going to use Call of the Dahan Ways. Although I guess now we can't replace a town with a Dahan, so actually it makes sense. Okay, that's fine. We were gonna do. We did the 2 here, right? So we did this to get. Yeah, we did this to. I think we put it here. Because that was spread. Okay. Had a serious conversation on the Discord servers distracting you. That reminds me, what was it? I don't remember what the joke, what the comic was, but it was some comic where it was like, I can't go to bed yet. Someone on the internet is wrong. Just the way that the person was like so quick to not go to bed. I have to correct the person on the internet. They were wrong. Oh, was it XKCD? It was XKCD. Hey, Nepikros, how are you doing? All right, I think that resolves everything that we needed. And there's the Pycros with the relevant link. XKCD number 386. Are you coming to bed? I can't. This is important. What? Someone is wrong on the internet. What do you want me to do? Leave? Then they'll keep being wrong. That's good. All right, so defend in this land. That was one thing. We were also preventing a build in a land without invaders. Or we were using this to stop a ravage, weren't we? Yeah. A land without invaders. Let's, and this is gather. So let's target this land, move this town. You could also push Dahan. Let's see what happens. We don't need to use this just yet. We're not going to get a fear off of that anyway. So the Ravage in the jungle, we're going to destroy this presence. Okay. We have still yet to place any blight on the board other than what started with. And we're exploring in the jungle again. I feel like we've just been going back and forth between jungle and sands. All right, sure, we could just do that. The mountains have yet to see any action in this game. Why is the blight card got 10 on it? What do you mean? It's not a... It's a healthy island, and we're not playing with a blight card, so if there's ever no blight here, we lose the game. It's difficulty 0 because I'm a beginner. Okay, so what we're gonna do, damage, replace Explorer with Dahan. Well, that would be that land. So where do we need to push if we need to push? We have a lot of places where ravaging is going to be bad. I think what we could do most effectively in order for this damage to actually make sense, is to target this land with that. Even though we have Dahan in there, that's the only place where that damage makes sense. Do we want to put 2 Dahan in this sands? Can we target that sands? We can. So that we could defend there, and then... Is it defend? It's in range 1 of a sacred site, so you need a sacred site for that. Well, the one that's range 1 of a sacred site is this land here, so we could gather 2 into this land, and then the defend there would destroy those invaders. I could have flipped the blight card and then removed tons of blight. Well, I don't know. I've only had 2 games with a blight card, and I wasn't really fond of constantly destroying presence. Maybe I will add that to my eventual repertoire, but we're still in the phase of my strategic developments where I'm learning the game. So, oh, and this is push. It's push. Okay, that makes it a bit more complicated. It's not a gather. If I anticipate these Dahan going away, then I would have to defend or push those away. If I want to keep them, I could let them. I could sacrifice one and have the other one take out the town. I mean, we've yet to place any blight, so we're probably just at the point where we're not focused on blight because we need to make progress on like terror progression. We've been neglecting that. You're gonna reclaim the next turn, so you'd be able to do things like destroy a town, 1 damage to each invader, and then you'll get an extra power card. So I'm not 100% sure what will happen there then. Yeah, we could probably just say that jungle or that sand is just going to see action. I don't know about the others yet. Okay, I don't need to push all of 2. I just need to, let's just push this one since mountains are not seeing any activity. All right. The months and years go by as they always have. All right, so lightning's definitely reclaiming. Lightning's definitely gaining a power card. Major power cards are powerful, but they're expensive in energy. And I feel like I just want more cards in hand. Especially cards with low energy cost, because I could spam a bunch of cards at once. So I'll just gain a minor power. What we're looking for is fire and air and eventually water. One of these gives fire, one of these gives air, 3 of these give water. Destroy 3 towns, 1 damage to each town, city, and 1 blight. If you have 3 sun, destroy a city. You have no suns. And I guess we do have a bunch of blight to use as a resource. Target spirit gets +2 with all their powers. We were talking about this card last game, saying how good that card can be. If invaders are present, 1 fear. If target land is sand or wetland, remove a blight. We have a lot of blight, or a lot of blight to place though, so we're not really worried about that. We have 2 blight removers, we have 1 blight adder. Yeah, reaching grasp is just so cute. Woo! That's a bunch of pushing, and this is targeting a jungle, but the explorers aren't the cause of concern is the towns. I mean, eventually, green is going to remove blight, right? I mean, I'm not really particularly jazzed by any of these cards. Hug! So let's see, you're going to get 9 energy. That's a lot of energy. Why am I thinking you don't have much energy? You have lots of energy. But now you have a card that you can forget. That's basically what we got, is we got you a card that you can forget later. So what are we going to do with green? If you do gain a power card, you won't have enough to do 3 card plays. You'll have lots of energy though, so you could actually gain a major power and forget something. I mean, we're starting to almost exhaust the presences we have, so maybe it's fine to lose the gift of proliferation and get a major power with green. You could also forget one of these 2 cards, since you're only going to be able to play 2 cards anyway, and this Overgrow in a Night, I mean, it adds a presence, or has a use even after you have all the presents, so I don't know. Yeah, I know I can forget cards from this card. That's why I said we can forget the gift of proliferation. So maybe we'll go with this. So we haven't made a decision here yet. We can still make this decision here. We'll have you gain a major. You prefer dropping fields choked. Oh yeah, pushing just pushing a town. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get rid of a town. It just pushes it. But the thing about pushing, you know, is you have to do the Patrick impression. Why don't we take Bikini Bottom and move it somewhere else? Okay, major. So what is most useful here? What we would need? Moons, waters, an earth somewhere, and probably eventually some more plants. We have 2 plants innately, but something. That just might be crazy enough to get us all killed. All right, so let's see. We have no waters. We have no moons. Well, that's fun. We have 2 plants and an earth. Is there anything else we're looking for again? Not really. So let's see, let's just look at these cards. 1 damage and defend 2 per Dahan in the target land. If you have 2 sun, 2 earth, and 2 plant, you may push up to 2 Dahan, moving the defend effect with them. Interesting. You have no other earth cards, so we won't get that. And you also don't have any sun cards either. You have 1 other sun card, so this won't happen. 2 damage per Dahan. Target spirit gains 3 energy. Once this turn, target may repeat a power card by paying its cost again. If you have 2 sun, 2 fire, 3 air, you don't have those. All of these are things you will probably not really see. 1 fear, 7 damage, add a blight, and destroy all Dahan. Well, none of these actually require much energy. That's the good news. But which one is the most useful? That's the question. That, detective, is the right question. Process terminated. Probably things based on Dahan, since we have lots of Dahan things. Defend effects are a premium. But why defend when I can just kill things? Also, we could use Reaching Grasp to make the thing happen in a different land if we needed to. So you like to defend? That's not going to help with the Ravage, maybe. That's range 1 of any with target. Okay, so we would actually be able to defend in the Dahan land. Defend 1 damage and defend 2 per Dahan. Yeah, that's probably better than 2 damage per Dahan because that's exchanging 1 damage for 2 defend, and the defend is used to defend, and they will also keep the Dahan alive, and they'll be able to retaliate. So trees and stones speak of war. Now we have to forget 1. And Nepi was all like, fields choked with growth is terrible. Let's go ahead and forget that one then. Even the in-game lore says explicitly that some spirit stories are contradictory and somehow simultaneously hold to be true. That sounds like a deity action right there. Okay, there's my other drink. So what card are we gonna give lightning then? What does lightning go into play? One damage to each invader if used as a fast power can stop a build in most of these jungles. We would really want to avoid the blight in this jungle because it will cascade. Imagine if green got any of these minor powers. Yeah, these actually would be a lot better for green, wouldn't they? Moons and waters and all. We could destroy a town explicitly with this. So this would also stop the next phase of the build. We have the land up here to worry about. We could use a presence to stop the ravage there if needed, I guess. You still have a build or a presence to gain from here. You don't need the energy, so you'll probably go with the card play route then. So what is it? So destroy a town, 1 damage to each invader to stop a build. Gather a town to stop a ravage. I'm not really worried about the jungle over there though. They could, like, there's no blight, so it's fine. Do we need to use a slow power as if it were fast? 2 damage or remove a blight? That would stop a build in another place. So actually, maybe we have your 3 plays sorted. I don't know. Only 1 gives me fire, only 1 gives me air. This gives me potentially lots of fear. But we don't really, I mean, I guess we have this mountains over there. Yes, do I want to use any of these slow ones fast? Well, we already have our 3 plays sorted, at least as far as I can tell. Maybe not that one, I don't know. I don't know. You need water at some point? Let's get you reaching grasp. So there's extra range if we need it. We probably won't ever need it, but we need it. Maybe. Someday. So jungle, wetlands. Do you have something that cares about things? Range 1 of a sacred site. Yeah, let's put this... I have to move that in order to do that. Let's put you there so I can use this on that land. And I can use this on that land. I should be good for now, so I don't need that extra range. You need to destroy a town. You need to deal 1 to each invader. Yeah, this ravage I think is just gonna happen, isn't it? That's fine. What other play do you want? Or we're gonna do fast as if we're slow so we could do this. Stop this. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. This also lets you destroy a town. Good. I'll finish playing. That sounds good. We have plays, which is better than where we were at 10 minutes ago. I apologize if I play still way too slow for most people's tastes. It's, I'm still learning the cards, really. And then what we're gonna do here... Were we gonna do a defend? Was that part of what was going on? Were we gonna defend that? We can't reach that. Do I need to defend that? What am I doing? It's Spirit Island. It's kind of expected. True. Oh, I was gonna use that. Never mind. You wonder what a speed run of this would look like. It would look like playing random stuff until you win. All right, thank you for the support, team. As long as it's useful to watch, really. So what ravages are still happening? We have 1 in the sands, 1 in the sands. We could stop the blight there. Oh, okay, I see what I did. I was gonna use this to I was gonna use that, yeah. So 1 fear and destroy a town. We could do that there. That gives us a fear. I could do that there. That's not gonna stop the blight, but that will... I can defend 2 and stop the blight. No other place we're worried about. Yeah, so we'll just defend 2 there. All right, great. The next expansion is supposed to expand it to 6? Nah. Yeah, I could... Okay, let's not flip the card then, because that will make this irreversible. Do I need to stop a build in the jungle? Actually, I'm not really worried about that. These Dahan will take care of the invaders. We'll figure out what to do with these. At worst, we can destroy the site. So I think I'm fine. Defend 2 on all lands with presence. Oh, well, there we go. Six Spirit 1-player games are surprisingly manageable, but still, shudder. I mean, I think that with more spirits, there's more complexity, but there's more room for freedom, really. Like, I mean, we're still kind of all over the place in this board. Yeah, you can just build whatever. It's not going to make a difference. Exploring in the mountains. Well, for the first time, we're seeing mountain activity. But I feel like with more spirits, you can at least manage the explorers a little more effectively, even though they're exploring all over the gosh darn place, but... I think for now I'm happy with just doing 2 spirit games. I know John said that he'll play 1 spirit games on stream, but I think if I get used to 2 spirits, it will go a lot better. I just like synergizing. That's like what I love in Sentinels, is synergizing between heroes in ways that aren't necessarily expected. So being able to pick 2 spirits that synergize together is really fun. I mean, I'll probably play a 4 spirit game at some point, maybe not on stream, but just so I can see what it's like. But yeah. All right, I think that we need green to reclaim, because you really don't have enough card plates. Can lightning go without reclaiming? I'm not sure yet. Let's do this reclaim. We're gonna gain a power card. Should I go for another major power? The problem is major powers, since you forget a card, means you're not really expanding your hand. But you only have 2 card plays currently. And you're still only gonna have 2 card plays. So you're still not gonna really get through your hand pretty quickly. Plus, eventually, once you've placed all the presences and you don't really have anything better to do, you're just gonna keep reclaiming and gaining power cards. So let's go with major. Let's just do this. Interesting. 1 plant, 1 earth, 1 water. What are we looking for here again? We're looking for waters, moons, plants, and 1 earth. We have 2 earths, we have 1 water. And I already forgot what all we needed again. Moons. Do we have any moons? We have 2 moons, okay. 2 fear, push up to 4 explorers or towns. 4 fear with enough moons. We're not gonna get that. Animal symbol, not really gonna matter. 3 fear, after each effect that destroys towns, explorers, Dahan, and target land. 1 damage per town, town, city, and Dahan destroyed. Interesting. After each effect that destroys. Wow. Interesting. Target spirit places 2 of their destroyed presence into a single land up to 2 range from your presence. If any presence was returned, 2 damage to each town and city in that land. And if you have 3 fire, 3 earth, and 2 plant, plus 4 damage. That's nice. I mean, you have a means of returning destroyed presence innately. Two fear, 8 damage, destroy 2 Dahan in a coastal land. In each other coastal land on the same board, 1 damage, 1 fear, 4 damage, and destroy 1 Dahan. Well, that is risky. My Dahan friends, no. But that will help with that with that mountain, that word. You got your first win? Yeah! Shadows flicker like flame. That's a good one. I like that guy. I mean, Tsunami... If you did Tsunami and the trees and stones speak of war, like, you don't have enough water though, never mind. You would definitely not have enough water. But 8 damage in range 2 of a sacred site. This is range 2 of a sacred site. So there's gonna be a city that's built here. So you do 8 damage, that's a lot of damage to help with that. And as long as there's no the Dahan in there, this is not going to destroy Dahan. I'm gonna go with tsunami. What am I gonna forget? I'm gonna go ahead and ditch the gift of proliferation. As good of a card as that was for lightning. Man, it's nearly 2 a.m. and now you want to play some Spirit Island. Alright, so can lightning get away without reclaiming? Push to Dahan. 2 range. Gather. These are also all energy 0. What would any of this really do for me? We could stop a build in the mountains. And we could get a fear off of Harbingers of Lightning. The range of +2, I don't think that's really going to do anything. Defend 2 and 1 damage per Dahan. Actually, that would help a lot in this land, wouldn't it? That would be defend 4. We do 2 damage. I mean, it wouldn't really be enough. Is that at least going to get me to defend 2? Maybe it would. If I take out a city, or if I take out a town that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with a defend of 2, defend of 4 plus a 2, that would be 6. Yeah, that'd be good. What about this land over here? We could move that town out of there to stop that from happening. Maybe we just reclaim because I don't really like these plays. Reclaim and gain a major power. Maybe. As I said, we have a card we can forget now. Sue Major. 1 fear per town or city this power destroys up to a maximum of 4. You can't get all those symbols, though. Paralyzing Fright. 4 fear. Invaders skip all actions. We need we would like fire and air. None of these cards give me fire. Infinite Vitality ignores Blight. Yeah! Two fear cards instantly, yeah. 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 You have no earth cards other than Paralyzing Fright, though. Mist of Oblivion. Except you can't play 3 cards that have 2 moons and 3 air and 2 water. Or can you? No, you can. If you play Mist of Oblivion and Lure of the Unknown, that gives you 2 moon and 2 air and 1 water. So you need a card with air and water, which is Raging Storm. You'd have 1 damage to each invader and 3 damage. Raging Storm with the threshold effect. Yeah, so this has to destroy. This is range 1. This is range 3. we'd probably be able to deal with that jungle there. Interesting. Yeah, let's go that route then. Yeah, I don't care for reaching grasp, even though I literally just got it. You're not going to trigger your destroy one if you do that. Oh yeah, and both of those will be fast. That's good. I forgot that about that. That needs to be fast. Do you need to do something fast as if it were fast? If you do 8 damage, that would take out that jungle right now. Or that, I keep saying jungle, that desert right now. Not that mountain. I'm saying all the wrong words. I need the moon air elements. Yeah, so is that. I needed to do that, right? Yeah. You're getting a presence. If we're going to use this to wipe out the mountain, then you need a sacred site down there. You need an extra plant to defend 2. Do we need that defend 2? Maybe in that jungle. So we need a plant. Most of our cards are plants. Hey, by the way, we could use this to help out in this land. All right, let's see if this works. Let's see. So first, let's do this. Nope. Oh, we were gonna do this, weren't we? Yeah, that was our thinking, but we're not gonna do that now. That's fine. Okay. I don't know what I just did. Let's undo. Let's 1 damage and defend 2. So let's hit that once. Let's hit that. Then we can Raging Storm in this land, and now we have 3 entities that are at 1 health each. That did a bajillion damage. And we got Fear. Yep, that's good. This land is safe. Defend 2, we could do that there. Now the Dahan there will take care of that thing. So our Ravaging is taken care of. Now we need to worry about buildings in the mountains. And we can stop one of them with this Gather. If we gather one of those mountain guys, or any of these mountain guys, actually let's take the one with a Blight. Into a land with jungle, then the Dahan will take care of them. Yeah! Each player removes 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with Dahan. That is a really good candidate right there. I feel like all the other options I don't really care about because we've already taken care of them. Yeah, that's all of it. We'll take out that town so the Dahan don't get injured. Yeah. Or wait, no, that didn't give me a fear though. Yeah, when you remove, okay, I see when you remove, it's not actually, okay. Yeah, that's right. So let's just keep that town alive then. Let's take this back a step. I thought I'd take it back a step, but then we target a different land with this. Yeah, I targeted that. I don't know why it... I mean, this one's... Okay, yeah, it's not ravaging or building, so it's not doing anything. We'll just get rid of it. Whatever. Except I also did the thing wrong again. Oh, I see. It's saying no remaining because it's in that land. Okay, got it. I got confused by that message. Everything's fine. Building in the mountains. Exploring in the wetlands. Okay. So what do we have? We just have the tsunami. This is 8 damage. You already have the next fear card. Nice. I like these major powers. Okay. Are we gonna reclaim with you again? Because I don't really care about these. We're not getting to extra card plays unless I add presence, especially because I lost the thing over there. Do I need to get to that card play for the next turn? Because the Ravage in the Mountains... I probably need to deal with that, don't I? Since they're not building any cities, if I can generate 16 fear by next round's build phase, I win, since that's terror level 3. Yeah. Yeah, sir. Let's see, what do we have going on here? We still have this, so we can have you use slow powers as if they were fast. You can do damage to a town. We have no cities, so we could just ignore a bunch of these. Wetlands. I mean, if we can stop a build in the wetlands, that would be nice. If we can replace Dahan with, or a town with a Dahan, that would be nice. You would have to also play this card for that to work. Can you play your hand right now? If you put 2 presences, you could play your hand. What would that do for us? You would have 3 waters, you would have 5 plants, you would have 2 moons. So you'd be able to do a damage to a town twice, you'd be able to defend 4, and you could replace a town with a Dahan. So the Ravage in the Mountains, that defend 4 would stop 1 of the blights. You've yet to put blight on the board, by the way. This has been a pretty good game for that. But someone is certainly going to argue that you can afford to put some blight in order to have a better action the next turn, but I should have played with the blight card. Oh well. Yeah, that part doesn't matter. I don't know. I think I might just go with 2 presents for lightning and be a little slower here, so that next turn we could have 5 card plays. You can destroy a town off of that. And the fast thing there, yeah. Alright, so 2 presents there. What are we gonna do with green? I think it's add a presence and an extra card play that you don't really need. Yeah, we're just gonna play our hands and then reclaim the next turn. I could afford to put some blight so I could have better action next turn. Well, alright, so is there any ravaging in the mountains we're worried about? No. So we can kind of just ignore the mountains. So let's go with, This is jungle wetlands. This is presence. So let's see. We can also prevent a build with a sacred site in a place we don't want it to happen. Like the lands with the Dahan are a little more valuable because we can turn them, we can have them take care of the towns and cities for us. So let's have green put presence into this northwest wetlands and stop that build. There's still going to be some issue with the 2 explorers getting blight, but that's an issue to worry about in 15 minutes. Let's have lightning work on card plays. You want sacred site range. Every wetland is targeted except for the northwest. Let's put... Is there anything that's range 0? No. So we'll just put you in the north jungle. Now lightning has 5 card plays. Do we want to save the energy for next turn and potentially build up to the super turn? Because if you're only getting... If you have 5 energy and you're getting 4 next turn and you're using 3 this turn... Well, what happens if I play my hand? Do I get out all the symbols? I do. I get a destroy a town that I could make fast. If you play your hand, what happens? We get a damage to a town or city twice and a defend 4. Do we need to save any or all of this energy for next turn? We have 5 plants, so I could lose a plant card. I have 3 water. I could lose a water plant card in case I'm not really using it. If I put 1 presence in a mountain with green, I could win the game by using the innate slow fast. Oh, by getting rid of all the towns. Okay. I like this possibility. The best way to win the game is to just win the game. So now the goal is to get rid of the remaining three towns. Which we can get rid of one of them with this power. And we can get rid of one of them with this town, with this power. And we can get rid of one of them with this power. So we're done here. Best way is a tier 0 or tier 4 victory. That's not the one I wanted, it's this one. You have to do that so that you can do this. Then we have to use this. And then we have to use this. There are no buildings on the island. Yeah! We did it! All the invader settlements have been destroyed and their morale is not strong enough to weather this loss. They depart this island for their faraway home. We got 25 points off of that, so that's cool. And we had no blight in that game. He did it again! 3 for 3 on stream. So yeah, I mean, all of these were difficulty 0. And I feel like, at least judging by comments that I've seen, yeah, exactly, Sweden 6. Like, it's fun to win, and I like winning, but then I see comments from people who talk about higher difficulty stuff, and I keep feeling like my victories are meaningless to Spirit Island experts because they're complaining that I'm not playing on difficulty 8 or something. So it's like, yeah, I won, but at what cost? They're not meaningless. True. I mean, I'm not trying to diminish my victories, but definitely what I need to start considering now is raising the difficulty. Higher difficulty means higher probability of being put in a no-win state. Yeah, that's part of the issue with certain difficulties in games, is you could give the invaders more actions, but it's possible that you could be put in a starting situation where even if you do the best decisions, that you just lose. So let's talk about difficulty then. I know there's some chart in this manual. And difficulty is a bit subjective, especially because this manual was built like when the game was first released, I'm sure. But the scenarios, let's visit the scenarios for a moment here. The difficulty 0 scenarios are Blitz and Guard the Isle's Heart. And what Blitz does, it makes all powers fast. Cards that are already fast or made fast cost 1 less energy, with possibly gaining energy off of it. When exploring, once per board, add an additional explorer. If the island becomes blighted, put 1 less blight per player on the blight card. Setup changes, put an additional blight per player on the blight card. The invaders get an additional set of actions at the end of setup. So it doesn't really change the game that much, except it gets rid of slow powers and makes the explorers go faster. Guard the Isle's Heart. Additional loss condition. Anytime after turn 1, there is a town or city in an inner land. There is one inner land on each board. So the inner land counts as the innermost land. 1 to 2 players is land number 7 on each board. With 3 players, and 4 players, it's the innermost land. After all other setup, remove all towns, and each inner land add 1 explorer and 1 presence from the player starting on that board. If this is illegal, add a presence in the nearest legal land on that board. Each spirit starts with 2 additional power cards by drawing a single card from each of the 2 power decks. So there's already an innate explorer in the inner land in case they happen to get an initial explore phase in that land, they could eventually build. No forgetting. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so there's no towns, only explorers. Starting with, yeah. So that's interesting. Oh, and also because there's no towns, that means it actually... Interesting. Alright, those are difficulty 0. Difficulty 1s are the adversaries at base, and we're missing the Kingdom of England in here for now. I'm sure that will be added later. At base level, we only get the stage 2 escalation, which happens on stage 2 cards that have the flag symbol on it, which from what I can tell are the cards that are not coastal lands on tier 2. Land Rush. On each board with town or city, add 1 town to a land without town. So every time they explore in stage 2, with the flag symbol, on each board with a town or city, add a town. So if you have a board without a town or city, nothing happens. And the base level of Sweden, after invaders explore into each land this phase, if that land has at least as many invaders as Dahan, replace 1 Dahan with 1 town. After they explore to each land, if that land has at least as many. So every time they explore, there's a risk of Dahan being swayed. And then the levels of these go up in difficulty. The difficulty 2 is actually Kingdom of Brandenburg Prussia level 1. and also Sweden level 1, since we have Sweden right now. In addition to that, at level 1, the fear cards I believe are the same. Heavy mining, if the invaders do at least 6 damage to the land during Ravage, add an extra blight. The additional blight does not destroy presence or cause cascades. So like in the previous game, I didn't actually ever got blight added, so this wouldn't have changed anything in the game. The stage 2 escalation could have changed things. And tier 1 Brandenburg, Prussia. During setup on each board, add a town to land number 3. So extra town, yeah. And then the higher levels also changed fear cards, not on Brandenburg, Prussia, but Sweden did. Higher number of fear cards in the deck means that it's harder to get to the tier 4 victory, or even just any tier victory beyond tier 0, in addition to all these extra rules. That definitely scares me. Was it John played Sweden 4 on a whim on Tuesday? I would definitely not play it on a whim. I would just build up to that so I can get used to level 1 before I go into level 2, and then I could get used to level 2 before I go into level 3. Just because otherwise I will forget all the rules. The other scenarios, difficulty 3 is Rituals of Terror. So Rituals of Terror. Terror levels are not earned via fear, but by the Ritual of Terror. During either the fast or slow phase, the spirits may perform the Ritual of Terror. If there is a land with a presence from each spirit, that land is at least 3 Dahan per player, and the spirits collectively spend 3 energy total and destroy 3 presence total in that land. And fear cards are not resolved during the invader phase. When the Ritual of Terror is performed, you earn the next victory level, or next terror level. You resolve all earned fear cards, and you push all Dahan from the land where the ritual was performed, distributing them as evenly as possible amongst all the lands. Setup changes: put the terror level dividers by the side of the board instead of in the fear deck. Put all fear cards into the fear deck. If you run out, earn no more fear cards. So that's cool. So the third ritual is victory. And then in a Dahan insurrection is difficulty 4. After an action moves 1 or more Dahan, each Dahan that moved does 1 damage in their land. Damage happens after fully resolving the power or other effect which moved them. If a power moves a Dahan multiple times, it only does damage in the land where it ends up. After an action destroys 1 or more town or cities, add an explorer per town destroyed and 1 town per city destroyed. These new invaders are added to the land with Dahan closest to the destroyed town or city. Add the new invaders after fully resolving the power or effect. If an action triggers both constant rating and military response, resolve constant rating first. And coordinated insurrection, if you reach terror level victory, Dahan immediately damage invaders. Oh, that continues. In every land on the board as if they were fighting back after Ravage. If this doesn't fulfill the victory condition on this card, you lose. Oh, on this card. Okay, yeah, so that's different. So, okay, so the normal fear-based victory is not available. Instead, Terror level 2, there are no lands or towns or cities outnumber Dahan. Terror 3+, there's fewer than 1 land per player where towns and cities outnumber Dahan. The additional loss condition, there are fewer than 2 Dahan per player left alive. Yeah, there's a lot of extra rules here that change the way the game works. And, yeah. But I think what I will do starting on my Dolphins dive on Thursday is that I will work on difficulty 1, which means that I'll be working with, with either Sweden base or Prussia base. I guess I also have to consider doing the scenario Blitz or Guard the Isle's Heart at some point. But, you know, in order for me to not feel like I'm just playing difficulty 0 and winning willy-nilly, I should probably start leveling up the difficulty. It does say in the whatever it's called, the manual, that if you find the game is too easy, increase the difficulty. If you find the game is too hard, lower the difficulty. There are some people, though, that are upset that they can't win the game at difficulty 0. Hopefully I can give you some insights on stream. That's part of what my job is to give you insights as to how to improve your game. All right, so that will be it for tonight. Thank you for joining Spirit Island Saturdays. We'll be doing this until the end of May, and then we'll see how I feel and whether other people want to take part. John did mention that he would be willing to take part with me at some point. If anyone in chat also wants to guest star on here as well, I'm also open to that. The rules and regulations are that you have to be awesome. You have to be considerate and patient. You have to explain what you're doing and not just play all the cards. But, you know, it's what it is. It's Spirit Island Saturdays. Anything goes. If you want to check out the other streams on this channel, we have Handelabra Live every Tuesday with John and sometimes Jeremy, two of the leaders of Handelabra that like to show content on their stream before it is publicly available. We have Dolphins Dive every Thursday with yours truly, who does some strategic Sentinels or One Deck Dungeon or Aeon's End or now Spirit Island. We have Spirit Island Saturdays every Saturday at 7 p.m., at least through the month of May, where you can get some Spirit Island content. And we have Tales from the Archive every Sunday with another lit down for some storytelling Sentinels. And we have On Deck every Monday with Pirate Savvy and Dover, a brother-sister duo that like to have some fun and get some Sentinels achievements these days. So we stream 5 times a week now. It's crazy. It's awesome. So much Handelabra content that you can go and see on this channel. Sentinel of the Multiverse and One Deck Dungeon and Bottom of the Ninth and Aeon's End are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices. And Spirit Island is currently in early access on Steam. It will eventually be available on iOS and Android devices as well. But it's in early access, which means that everything you're seeing can and will change as feedback is received and they make changes. I believe that's all I have to say legally. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate your support and have a good night.